So the 2020s are about halfway through now. I know, it's insane how time's flown by so fast, but with this, I thought it would be fun to look back at the past 5 years and pick out some of the anime that stand out to me the most. These shows are not objectively the best, but they are anime that I thoroughly enjoyed and I want to talk about, so here we go. I'm going to lock in and talk about some of these shows, so get ready and have some fun as we look back on the past 5 years of anime. So the first anime I want to look back on is the first anime that got trapped in Disney jail and started a not so fun trend in the anime community, and that is the incredible anime called Summertime Rendering. You might not have ever even heard of this show before because of its Disney jail status, but I can assure you that this is one of the best mystery anime to come out of the decade so far. It was fun, interesting, had great characters, and constantly kept you on the edge of your seat every episode. They really knew how to hook viewers in and get them to keep watching. The reveals in every episode worked to slowly build up a larger mystery that would unfold in the world, and as we slowly discovered more, we realized that something much bigger than just the story of a few characters was unfolding on this island. The character writing was impeccable. They really got you to care about them and their struggles. Every one of them had a compelling arc they had to go through, which really makes you love the characters even more. There really isn't much this anime does wrong. The animation is incredible as well, and the soundtrack kinda slaps. I just wish this anime got more popular than it did, but oh well, that is what it is. The next anime I want to talk about here is an anime called The Heike Story. This anime is incredible, actually it is insanely good. This is a story about the Heike family, a prominent family in Japanese society back in the day. This is a historical anime with a bit of fiction thrown in to make it for a fun story, but the fiction helps to add to the narrative and just makes it even better. We get to see the story of this family and their downfall through the perspective of a character called Biwa. She is like us in the story. She doesn't know all that much and has to be informed of a lot. We don't really see much of what's happening unless she is around. Sometimes we get to see stuff, but not much. The character writing is immaculate. All of the characters are so well done that you actually do feel for some of them when the stuff starts to hit the fan. You grow to really like all of the characters in this story because we see how they grow and how their perspective change as some of them get older and are forced into bad situations. This series has a super unique art style that works so well here. It's similar to what Ping Pong the Animation did, except not quite as extreme. It works so well here. The story, the world, and even the art of it is extremely beautiful. It genuinely makes me love the anime even more looking back at it. Alright, the next anime I want to look back on is a little known anime called Spy Family. This anime is awesome. There is so much good about it. It's funny, has good action, can be quite wholesome, and it is really well animated. The character writing is where Spy Family really shines through. Lloyd tries to portray himself as this uncaring spy, but we all know he cares deeply for his fake family, even if he doesn't want to admit it. He is pretty badass, but he also gets himself into situations that could easily be avoidable if he was just uncaring as he claims. Yor is one of the most badass characters in the show. She's an assassin, and it shows. She is quite nice, but man, if you get on her bad side, you are done. You might even be done just by accident because Yor has a hard time controlling her strength. Anya is the best. She's a little girl who must be protected at all costs. She can read minds, and so she knows who Lloyd and Yor really are. She tries to help, but usually just ends up making their lives harder, but you can't be mad at her because, it's Anya. The comedy of the show mostly comes from the misunderstandings of the characters. Nobody knows what the other really does for work except for Anya, and this leads to some really funny misunderstandings that have to be explained. This show is just an extremely funny show that works really well for what it is. The next anime is one of the most wholesome romance anime of the 2020s. This anime is about two middle schoolers experiencing their first love, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It's called The Dangers in My Heart. This series is incredible. The characters are amazing, the show is gorgeous, and really everything just works so well. So let's start with talking about the two main characters. Ichikawa is the shy boy who likes the occult and doesn't really have that many friends. He usually likes to be alone and just chill. He's pretty introverted and doesn't really speak to that many people at the beginning of the show. Then we have Anna. She is the popular girl, she's a model, and she has lots of friends, and she is very extroverted. She loves to hang out with her friends and doing fun stuff. Both of them are very different in a lot of ways, but as the saying goes, opposites attract. Both of them slowly grow closer as time goes on in the story. We see them develop a genuine connection, and that is what makes this show so good. All of the side characters have great development and fun personalities too, but the story focuses on our main couple for about 95% of the runtime, which makes sense. This anime does an incredible job of replicating what it is like to be a middle schooler again, and that aids in the storytelling, because we were all cringe as hell back then, and this anime can give you so much secondhand embarrassment that it can be hard to watch. But that is the point, and what makes it so good. The series is just gorgeous. The art style, the rendering, and the animation, all of it is peak and makes the show so damn good. So the next anime might be something that's surprising to most, but I absolutely love the anime, and it's called My Happy Marriage. It is so good. The character writing is godlike. Mio goes through so much development in this story that she feels like an entirely different character in season 1 versus season 2. But that is not a bad thing, because they kept her most important traits that still made her her. At the beginning, she is a traumatized girl with no sense of self-worth who has never been shown love or happiness. But as time goes on, she starts to finally experience those things, and she can then start to fight for herself more since she now has a feeling of self-worth that she never had before. Her development is by far the best part of the show, and it's not even close. Kyoka is someone who is introduced as not the best person, but we quickly learn that he is a good dude who just never really trusted Mio's family, rightfully so. But he is also Mio's biggest supporter, and is someone who is always there for her no matter what, which I can give nothing but respect for. The next best part of the show is the relationship between Mio and Kyoka. It is so damn wholesome, I love it. They were made for each other. They both are so supportive and so loving, and they both believe in each other wholeheartedly. Their relationship is perfect, which helps the romance feel so amazing. This anime also just looks good. The art style is nice, there are a lot of beautiful shots, and the music is the perfect set dressing on top. I love this series, it is way too perfect. Alright, the next one might come off as a surprise, but I need all of you guys to hear me out for a second. Like, let me cook. Mushoku Tensei is one of the best isekai anime ever made, and it is one of my favorite anime of the 2020s so far. One of the main reasons for that is the incredible character writing. You are not supposed to like Rudeus as a person, but you cannot deny that his writing is insane. He has developed so much as a person. At the beginning, he is a shut-in loser who never really had anything going for him in life, but after coming to this new world, he was able to meet good people who brought him out of that despair, and he was also able to start living life, which is a good plus. Plus, he has matured a lot. He is still his same horny self, but he is not as childish and would certainly never do some of the stuff that he did at the beginning of the story. He was even very hesitant to get involved with Roxy, which shows growth on his part. I mean, he still did it, which doesn't make him great, but he did actually think about it, which is something he most definitely would not have done in the beginning of the story. All three of the main girls all have great writing involved in their characters as well. Each one is unique and fills a different trope, but it works so well here. Plus, like, they popped the hell off with the production of this anime. It looks so damn good. There really isn't anything that I dislike about Mushoku Tensei, except for the fact that at the beginning, it can be quite hard to sit through and watch. But once you get past that, you get to see the show blossom into a truly incredible story of growth and change from a main character that you don't often see in storytelling, at least not in anime. Alright, so the next anime is one that is the most peak anime to come out in the past 5 years. This is an anime that caught almost everyone off guard when it first came out, and for good reason. Its art style is super cutesy, but the series is anything but cute. Ranking of Kings is a pretty dark story. They really fooled you when you watched the first episode, but honestly, I love that fact about this anime. I think, just like with everything else on this list, that the character writing is really where this anime shines. Boji is a cute little boy who must be protected at all costs. He is deaf, but he doesn't let that define him. He is also a sweetheart, and he has a hard time learning to fight because he doesn't want to hurt anyone. Kage is the best friend anyone could possibly ask for. He starts off as a thief who is just stealing to make a living, but once he meets Boji, he joins the cult of wanting to protect Boji at all costs. He is always there for Boji, supporting him and encouraging him to be better. If it wasn't for Kage, Boji would never have been able to grow into who he was at the end of the story, and there are so many other great characters in this anime as well. The animation is peak. Wit really locked in for this anime, and it shows. They did a phenomenal job making this anime look incredible. The music is also peak. I love both openings. They fit the story so well and it really just hits. Ranking of Kings is an anime that came out of nowhere but absolutely turned itself into a juggernaut pretty much overnight, and that is an incredible feat to pull off. Which is why you should give your utmost respect to this show. Alright, the next one is the definition of peak storytelling. I've talked about it quite a lot on the channel and even have a full video on the show. The anime in question is Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Where do I even begin talking about how peak this show is? I guess I'll start with the characters. There are so many main characters, depending on which section of the story you are in, and somehow, with so many characters, they get you to truly care about all of them. Like, some of the characters start off as not the greatest people, but by the end, you're like, damn, why am I crying right now? Like, for instance, I feel like Novak is the perfect example of this. He is the antagonist for the entire show, but you know that he's just a misguided person with blind faith in the church. But we get to learn his backstory, and we get to experience his loss right alongside him. So when it gets to the end, you really do feel for him, and that is what makes the character writing so good, because he is not the only example, he is just the best example. The story of Orb is all about passing things on to the next generation. With each new arc, we find new people all fighting for the same thing, even if they have different reasons for doing so. But it always gets passed on, even when you think it's impossible. We constantly see the evolution of the research and how people approach finding out if their hypothesis is true. We also see the fight to get this knowledge to the public once it finally gets solved. The show is just amazing. Plus, it is gorgeous. Like, every single scene of someone looking at the stars is so good. But the show as a whole is just beautiful, and the animation is amazing as well. Orb is just peak anime, and it is a show I can recommend to anybody because it is amazing. So the next show on this list is one that I don't think will surprise anyone. It's Frieren. Yep, that's it. This is one of the best anime, period, let alone of the 2020s. There is so much that is good about this show. It pains me to put this in spot number 2 and not 1, but honestly, it's a close call between this and that show. That show just holds a slight advantage as for now because it has a second season, but these two can go back and forth between spots 1 and 2. But anyway, let's get back on track. Frieren is amazing. The characters, the world, everything. So let's start with the characters. Frieren is a great main character. She's OP as hell, she's funny, and she is growing as a person as time goes on. Plus, she isn't perfect, which I really like. She makes mistakes and has flaws. That makes her feel more real. Fern is Frieren's apprentice. She is often used as the straight man in most situations, but she can be pretty damn funny herself. She is also pretty damn strong herself, being able to fire off spells faster than anyone. She is also the only one who can keep up with Frieren's antics, which makes her a really fun character. Plus, her relationship to the next character, Stark, is also developing into a nice wholesome little relationship. Stark is awesome. He is the physical fighter of the group. He doesn't use magic, but that doesn't mean he's weak. He is actually extremely strong. He just doesn't have good self-esteem and thinks he is a lot weaker than he actually is. He is really over the top with everything because he never really got a chance to see the world until now. He also has a crush on Fern, but she, as of right now, isn't having it. Frieren is such a gorgeous anime. I know I've said that a lot in this video, but when you're talking about anime being peak, it is going to come out a lot. But Frieren really is gorgeous. The animation is insane. Madhouse really brought their A game for this. And the music is like, holy hell, the music is peak. Frieren is such a good anime that even the FMAB fans knew to finally concede defeat on Mao, and it is still ranked number 1 and by a fairly large margin as well. The last one is one of the best anime I have seen in a long time with such compelling and interesting characters. I don't think this will come as any surprise to learn that the anime in question is The Apothecary Diaries. This series is incredible for so many reasons, but let's start with the characters. Mao Mao is one of the best anime protagonists we have seen in a very long time. She's funny, extremely intelligent, and grows throughout the story. There really isn't much more that needs to be said. Jinchi is also an incredible main character. He is a great foil to Mao Mao in a lot of ways, but they are also similar in a lot of ways. They butt heads all the time, and honestly, their interactions in every episode are the parts I look forward to the most. Their development on the romance front has been slow going, but extremely satisfying. They are slowly growing closer, which I really love to see. There are so many great characters in this anime as well. It is damn near impossible to name them all. This show looks incredible as hell as well. They really did a phenomenal job with this series. You can see the passion in each episode that comes out. The animation is so good, the music is top tier, everything just works extremely well. This is also a pretty unique story for anime standards. We don't often get palace romance series set in a fictional China that also has a mystery element to it as well. The Apothecary Diaries is able to weave so many different plot threads together and make an extremely compelling story that you want to keep coming back to as more episodes come out. Honestly, it's kind of insane how good the show actually is. It went from 0 to 100 in a single episode and has never let off the gas. That's why I love this anime and want to see more of it as soon as possible. So that was my list of the best shows of the 2020s so far. There are a couple of shows that were left off that might be a little controversial. There are 2 shows that come to mind here, like Vinland Saga or JJK. As much as it pains me, Vinland Saga isn't on this list because I'm counting when the first seasons of shows came out, and Vinland Saga's first season came out in 2019, so it is technically not a 2020 show. And as for JJK, well, I mean, it's alright. It's had a massive impact on the community and anime as a whole, that is undeniable, but I don't really think it would fit on this list as this is a series of my favorites, and JJK is definitely not one of my favorite anime, but it is good. But yeah, that was the video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps out a ton. And if you do decide to join the community, then I guess I'll see you next week with another video. Bye.